All right, we are down here at my parents' house. We have my old Jimmy. Dad's doing the transmission on it. Then the old YZ, still trying to decide what I want to do with this. Clean it up and sell it or hold on to it. I'm still back and forth pretty much every day with it. But then we have this nice little workspace with Yeti. We got Daddy DeeO here. So we'll be doing all the top end stuff. Well, he'll be doing all the top end stuff. I'm probably going to help out some with like the initial teardown, whatever we can do today. But after that, I'm just going to leave the GoPro with him. So we're at about 65 hours. So I was thinking that might be a little soon on the top end, but we were going to do it eventually anyway. So while I'm still healing from the ACL, may as well just do it then. So
a socket, maybe, if needed, torque wrenches. And I do have a couple extra wrenches.
Dad's getting the coolant drain now. You can see that behind me. So we're going to set this up and get it going. All right, so we're coming to a stopping point here. We got everything torn down. We checked the valve clearance while we were at it. So actually the left intake, when you're looking at the bike from behind, so the left intake was a little bit tight. So we're going to get a smaller shim, but that's not why we're stopping. We didn't plan to do this all in one day anyway. We got really good progress, pulled everything, got all the way down to the piston and pulled that. So now we're just gonna take a stopping point, and then I'll be coming down, excuse me, coming back down next weekend because it's actually this guy's birthday. So on his birthday, we'll be sure to put him to work and put the bike back together. Good morning. Come out to breakfast already being made because he's the man.
Oh yeah.
And here we go. I picked this up from the local bike shop, Performance Cycle. My man Christian there. So there we go. Got the one shim. It's crazy how just a few millimeters is all it takes to throw something out of spec. But we got it's the 1.95. Oh. Plop that in the bike today. What all did you get accomplished, Dad?
Well, had to clean all the parts, you know, clean the gasket surfaces and such, but what I ended up doing was putting the new piston rings and wrist pin all in place, and then putting the cylinder itself in place, and then the head. Of course, we were waiting on that one valve shim, so I had to stop there, but obviously the subframe's back on and such, but yeah, so now we need to put the cam in it and the new shim and check the valve clearances, and then hopefully continue putting it back together.
Perfect, thank you. So as you can see, he put like the header back on. Didn't quite put the mufflers on yet. Those are still over there. But from this point, we're essentially, I would say, would you agree that this is pretty much like just doing your normal valve check from here on out, because this is what you'd have to take off to get down to the valve anyway. So the top end is essentially done. We're just gonna have to break it in, of course. But then we wanna see the old piston over here. And we changed this out at about 65 hours, so I don't really know what I'd be looking at here or any signs of wear.
Yeah, realistically, you know, we'd be looking at it. You can see that it's been burning the exhaust real well. There's nothing strange on the top of there. The piston, the skirts sometimes might get scratched up. A little tiny bit of scratching on that one. You can't even catch your fingernail on it. But the piston looks real good. It's probably wouldn't have had to been done, but why take a chance?
right, putting on the last touches here, just putting the seat back on, tightening it up. We, of course, checked the valve clearances as we went back on. Everything looked great with that new shim, and the old ones were still in spec. Line this up. I want to give a shout out, as always, my buddy Dalton for getting me the fender bench, then my buddy Grant for getting me the T-handles. As you've seen, they've got a lot of use throughout this project, and they do every time I do any work with the bike. But got everything back together as soon as this bolt goes in. Awesome, so there it is. So we're gonna go ahead and start the bike up. Might have missed that, that's all right though, we'll mess with it. But I'm gonna start the bike up. And as we said at the start of this isn't going to be like a how-to or anything, so I'm not gonna show you how to break in a bike. We're gonna follow Wiseco Pistons, their recommendations on how to break in a new top end and go from there. So let's get this bad boy going. Oh, there it is. It's been so long I forgot where the high idle is. Can you get it to top dead center again? There.
Hit that one more time. Oh yeah, sounded a little funny from this side. I definitely missed the seat. Oh, it's all right. Yeah, you can set that back in real easy.
So of course, I'm sure you're confused as to why the bike is back apart. So we had it all together. We started it up. It started, you know, took a few kicks to get the fuel into the system, and it was running, idling fine. We were just letting it warm up some, and then it was just like, and just dead. And we both looked at each other like, that's not good. So we started pulling things apart, really worried about something that went wrong. The only thing we could find is there's these little clips that sit on top of the camshaft here, and this one had, like, you can obviously see it is all bent up. So we're thinking that that just fell, like it came out of its little groove, which you can see here. And when it did that, then the whole cam kind of shifted, threw off the timing, and just killed the engine. So none of the close bike shops had that part available, so I ordered it today, but of course that'll be pushed back. So we tore the bike apart. We just went back in, checked the piston, checked the rings, just rechecked all the work that we had done. So we tore it all apart last week. My dad put it mostly back together. We put it all the way, as you guys saw it, the bike was ready to roll back out onto a track or whatever. And then as it was idling, it died. So we were really worried about that. That's the only thing we could see wrong, was that. So just really hoping that's all it is. I ordered 2 of those, so hopefully they'll be here within the next week. And then when they get here, my dad will put them back in. Just a super bummer. And that was the kind of thing, like, I really didn't know if I wanted to show you guys this, because I posted, you know, on Snapchat and Instagram, the bike was running fine, because it was. It wasn't until even after I turned off the GoPro, we were putting tools away, and that's when it didn't even sputter, it just stopped. So it was a kind of scary situation, but yeah, everything else looks fine. The piston still looks fine, the cylinder looks fine, the valves look fine. So we're really just hoping it was just that one. It's like a $2.03 part or something like that. So fingers crossed, that's all it is. Just keeping it truthful with you guys, because I know everyone saw it on Instagram. They're all excited and like, oh, it sounds so good, you know, back up and running and good to go, and not. So
are at John McGray's training facility in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We're testing out old Yeti. We've refreshened the top end on it. And, you know, as you might know, we had a few issues going back together with it. So I wanted to make sure it was right. So we brought it out here so I could put a few motos on it, or not a few motos, maybe one moto worth of laps, just to test it all out, make sure everything works well. Yeah, just make sure it's in good shape so that we can turn it back into DeeO.
It's been a long time coming, but Yeti is finally coming home. Earlier in the video, pretty much all the way at the start, I told you guys we weren't really sure what was going on with the 125. That was like over a month ago now. So I finally decided I wanted to list it. My dad took some photos, we wrote everything up. I put it on Facebook Marketplace and someone contacted me within 5 minutes, and they're coming to pick it up tonight. So that's the end of an era with the 125, but that'll allow us to focus on Yeti, and then we won't have to feel guilty when we ride Yeti that poor Wyzinger is just sitting there getting covered in dust. All right, after all that, finally got the bike back in its rightful place. Was a little bit of a pain since we had that one little issue and then had to wait for shipping, but she is all good now. So now, Yeti is just waiting on me. The bike is fully ready to go. We did the suspension, took it down to Tyler at Applied, and he, you know, changed some stuff on the shim stacks like I showed and told you guys. Got the top end done. We checked the clutch because it's been 65 hours. And it looks great, so no need to get a clutch. I was gonna buy one and put it in, but no need to at this point. So Yeti is good to go, but cannot wait to get it back on the bike, as you guys obviously know. So that's gonna do it for this. This video was supposed to be done in like 2 weeks, and it ended up being, what, a month and a half? But thank you guys for checking it out, and I cannot wait to get back on the bike and make some content for you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, until next time, take it easy. If it's easy, take it twice. Talk to you later.